The world taught you to wake up tired, not because your body is weak, but because your spirit has been ignored for too long. You open your eyes every morning, carrying a weight you never chose, a heaviness that sleep cannot fix. Before we go any further, if this message already feels like it's speaking to you, take a moment to support this channel, like the video, subscribe for more cinematic motivation, and share this with a friend who needs strength today. Now listen carefully. Tiredness is not always physical. Most of the time it is the exhaustion of carrying a life that is out of alignment with who you really are. Your energy leaks through hesitation. Your power drains through indecision. Your soul weakens every time you delay becoming the person you know you must be. You were not designed to live in constant friction with yourself. Yet that is what modern life has trained you to do. Fight your own instincts, silence your inner voice, and confuse motion with meaning. You move all day, but nothing moves forward inside you. Ancient warriors understood something we forgot. Energy is not created by rest alone. It is preserved by clarity. A scattered mind leaks strength. A divided heart burns fuel without direction, and a man or woman without presence will feel tired even after doing nothing. Musashi, the legendary swordsman, did not chase motivation. He did not wait to feel ready. He aligned his life so deeply with purpose that energy followed him like a shadow. His power came from stillness, not comfort, but inner order. When you wake up each morning already negotiating with yourself, you are spending energy before the day even begins. Every internal argument. Should I get up? Should I push today? Maybe tomorrow will be better. These thoughts are invisible thieves and wizards. The strongest people you admire are not stronger because they do more. They are stronger because they do less, but with total presence. One action, one direction, one commitment at a time. Fatigue is the price of living without boundaries. When you say yes to everything, your nervous system never rests. When you chase too many identities, your soul never lands. You don't need more caffeine. You don't need more entertainment. You need fewer contradictions inside your mind. But Musashi trained himself to be internally unmoved. Not emotionally dead, but centered. His energy was protected by discipline of thought. He did not allow mental noise to drain his strength. You scroll endlessly not because you are lazy, but because your mind is overstimulated and underdirected. You feel tired because your attention is fractured into pieces that never reunite. Presence restores energy because it gathers the mind back into one point. When you focus fully on what is in front of you, something ancient awakens. Your breathing deepens. Your body relaxes. Your movements become efficient. This is not relaxation. This is alignment. Notice how tired you feel when you live for approval. Every performance drains you. Every mask costs energy. But when you act from truth, effort feels lighter, even when the work is hard. The modern world celebrates hustle but ignores harmony. Musashi understood that constant strain dulls the blade. Rest without purpose weakens the spirit. The balance is presence in effort, calm intensity. You are not meant to live in urgency all the time. Urgency is borrowed energy. Presence is renewable power. When you rush, you breathe shallow. When you are present, breath returns to the belly. This is why stillness feels healing. It reconnects you to your original rhythm. Stop asking why you are tired. Start asking where your energy is leaking. Is it resentment you never released? Is it fear you keep negotiating with? Is it a life you are tolerating instead of building? Every suppressed truth costs energy. Every delayed decision drains strength. Musashi wrote that the way of the warrior is acceptance of death. Not literal death, but death of hesitation. When you accept the consequences of action, fear loses power. And when fear dissolves, energy returns. You feel tired because part of you is constantly bracing for a life you are not fully choosing. The body feels this conflict even when the mind pretends everything is fine. Commitment is energizing. Clarity is energizing. Truth is energizing. This is why disciplined people often look calm, not frantic. They are no longer negotiating with themselves every hour. Their decisions are settled. When you decide once, you save energy forever. Decide who you are becoming. Decide what you tolerate. Decide what ends today. The moment you stop arguing with yourself, your nervous system exhales. That exhale is energy returning home. Hey, presence is not passive. It is controlled intensity. It is strength without waste. Musashi did not rush into battle. He arrived complete. You don't need to speed up your life. You need to simplify your direction. Energy is not lost through effort. It is lost through confusion. Stand fully where your feet are. Do one thing without escape. Speak fewer words with greater truth. Your tiredness is not a flaw. It is a signal calling you back to alignment. And the moment you answer that call, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, you will feel it. Not excitement, not adrenaline, but something deeper. A quiet strength returning. That quiet strength does not arrive like lightning. It settles into you like gravity. Unshakable. Constant present. You begin to notice that your body stops resisting the day. Your shoulders drop without effort. Your jaw unclenches. Your breath no longer feels borrowed. It feels owned. This is what happens when you stop running from yourself. Most people are tired because they are always somewhere else, mentally ahead, emotionally behind, spiritually absent. Their body wakes up in the morning, but their mind is already fighting the future. They replay conversations that already ended. They fear moments that have not arrived. They live everywhere except now, and wonder why their energy disappears. Presence is not mystical. It is practical. It is the discipline of returning again and again to what is real. Musashi trained his awareness the way others trained muscle. He learned to notice tension the moment it appeared, not after it drained him, but at its birth. Most fatigue begins as resistance. Resistance to the task. Resistance to discomfort. Resistance to truth. The body feels this resistance as weight. The mind experiences it as fog. But when you stop resisting, effort becomes clean, hard but clean, demanding but not draining. There is a difference between struggle and strain. Struggle sharpens you. Strain slowly destroys you. Strain comes from doing what you hate. Strain comes from lying to yourself. Strain comes from living without inner permission. When your actions contradict your values, your energy bleeds. When your schedule contradicts your soul, exhaustion becomes permanent. You were not built to move against yourself. This is why alignment feels powerful, even when life is difficult. You may be tired at night, but not empty. You may be challenged, but not broken. Musashi believed that every movement should be intentional. Every step, every strike, every pause. Modern life teaches you to multitask. Ancient wisdom teaches you to fully task. When you eat, eat. When you work, work. When you rest and rest. Half presence is the fastest way to burn out. Look at your exhaustion honestly. Is it really from doing too much, or is it from doing too much of what doesn't matter? Energy returns when meaning returns. This is why disciplined solitude restores you. Why silence feels healing. Why clarity feels like relief. Your nervous system is not designed for constant stimulation. It is designed for rhythm. Musashi walked alone not because he hated people, but because he protected his center. You cannot be present if your attention is constantly invaded. Every notification pulls you out of your body. Every comparison fractures your focus. Every unnecessary conversation drains unseen energy. Guard your attention like a warrior guards his blade. A dull mind cannot hold power. The moment you reclaim your attention, your energy begins to consolidate. Scattered strength becomes stored strength. You don't need to fix your entire life. You need to stop leaking yourself everywhere. Be where you are. Finish what you start. Speak only when necessary. Stillness is not weakness, it is controlled force. This is why calm people intimidate the restless. They are not rushed. They are not reactive. They are not hungry for validation. Their energy is not begging for release. It is contained. Containment is power. Musashi did not swing wildly. He waited. He observed. He struck once, without waste. You don't need to do more. You need to move with precision. Precision conserves energy. Clarity preserves strength. Notice how much energy you lose worrying about how you appear, about being misunderstood, about being judged. The moment you accept who you are becoming, those fears lose their grip. And fear is one of the greatest energy thieves of all. Fear keeps your nervous system locked in tension. Presence unlocks it. Breathe slower. Move deliberately. Decide firmly. Your body will follow your certainty. The tired version of you is not weak. He is conflicted. She is divided. The powerful version of you is not louder. He is aligned. She is settled. And once you taste that state, once you feel what it's like to live without internal resistance, you will never want to return to the old exhaustion again. Because once alignment is felt, exhaustion exposes itself for what it truly was, not a lack of strength, but a life lived in fragments. You begin to realize something unsettling and liberating at the same time. Most of your tiredness was optional. It came from carrying identities that were never yours, expectations you inherited, battles you accepted without choosing. The body obeys the mind's confusion. When direction is unclear, energy scatters. Musashi lived simply not because simplicity was easy, but because complexity weakens the will. Every unnecessary choice drains you. Every unresolved decision hums quietly in the background of your mind, pulling power away from the present moment. This is why minimalism of thought restores vitality. Not emptying the mind, but removing what does not belong. You do not need 10 goals. You need one direction. You do not need to please everyone. You need internal consent. The moment your inner voice and outer actions align, and the nervous system relaxes. And when the nervous system relaxes, energy stops leaking. This is not softness, this is mastery. The strongest warriors were not tense, they were responsive. Tension is wasted readiness. Presence is intelligent readiness. You feel tired because you're always bracing for impact that never comes, always defending yourself from imagined threats, always preparing explanations no one asked for. Drop the armor you no longer need. Your breath will deepen. Your vision will sharpen. Your movements will slow and become more powerful. Musashi wrote that perception is strong and sight is weak. To see clearly, one must not stare. To act powerfully, one must not rush. Modern exhaustion comes from forcing outcomes. Ancient strength came from allowing rhythm. When you force, you burn. When you flow with intention, you endure. Notice how your energy spikes when you act decisively. Even difficult action feels lighter than endless delay. Indecision is heavier than effort. The mind spends more energy avoiding discomfort than experiencing it. This is the great illusion of fatigue. You are not tired of doing. You are tired of avoiding. Avoiding truth, avoiding commitment. Avoiding becoming who you already know you are meant to be. Musashi accepted hardship early so that ease could follow. The modern mind seeks ease first and earns lifelong fatigue instead. Choose the weight that strengthens you, not the weight that drains you. Discipline does not steal energy, it protects it. Structure does not imprison you, it frees you from chaos. When your days have form, your mind can rest inside them. Wake with intention, move with purpose. End the day with closure. Open loops exhaust the spirit. Completion restores it. Finish conversations, finish tasks, finish seasons of your life that no longer serve you. Unfinished business is invisible baggage. The moment you stop dragging the past into the present, your body feels lighter. Presence is the art of closure. Musashi traveled alone because he knew energy is shaped by environment. You cannot cultivate inner strength while drowning in noise. Silence is not empty. It is fertile. In silence, you hear your own rhythm again. And rhythm is the heartbeat of energy. Your exhaustion is not asking for escape. It is asking for order. Order of priorities, order of values, order of self-respect. When you respect your energy, it respects you back. Say no sooner, leave earlier. Rest without guilt, work without distraction. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship of your life force. Musashi believed that the way is in training. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect. Training your presence is daily, moment by moment. Every time you return your attention to now, you sharpen the blade. Every time you act without hesitation, you reclaim energy. Every time you stop apologizing for your path, strength consolidates. You do not need motivation. Motivation is unstable. You need grounding. Grounding turns chaos into calm force. Grounding turns fatigue into endurance. And slowly, quietly, you become someone who does not burn out. Not because life is easier, but because you are no longer divided within yourself. And that is where real energy lives. That is the moment when you stop mistaking noise for life, or when stimulation no longer feels like nourishment. So when peace stops feeling boring and starts feeling powerful, and you realize something most people never slow down enough to see. First, energy is not excitement. This energy is coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions point in the same direction, so power accumulates. When they pull against each other, one's exhaustion becomes your default state. Musashi never chased intensity. He cultivated stability. All because intensity burns fast, stability endures. Look at fire. A scattered flame flickers and dies. A focused flame cuts through steel. Your energy works the same way. Every time you switch masks, your nervous system resets. As every time you betray your own boundary, strength leaks. Every time you ignore what your body is telling you, fatigue compounds. Presence is listening before collapse. Most people wait until they break to change. The disciplined listen while they are still whole. Musashi trained even when he felt nothing. Not excited, not inspired, not driven. Consistency was not emotional, and it was identity-based. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who preserves energy, your choices change. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-committing. You stop fighting unnecessary battles. Silence becomes a strategy. The loudest person in the room is usually the most depleted. True strength does not announce itself. Musashi wrote that timing is everything. But timing can only be felt by someone who is present. Rushed people miss timing. Restless minds misread moments. Energy returns when you stop forcing the wrong moment to happen. Some doors open only when you stop pushing. Your tiredness is not asking for more effort. It is asking for better timing. Wait, observe, act once, cleanly. The tired version of you is always multitasking. The powerful version of you is always here. You stop replaying yesterday. You stop rehearsing tomorrow. You handle what is in front of you, fully, and then you release it. Release is as important as effort. Holding on consumes energy. Letting go restores it. Let go of being understood. Let go of being ahead. Let go of proving anything. You don't need to prove strength. Strength proves itself through calm. Musashi never needed applause. His presence ended fights before they began. That is the level you are returning to. Not louder, not busier, not harder, clearer, grounded, unmoved. You are not meant to live exhausted. You are meant to live deliberate. And when deliberateness becomes your nature, tiredness loses its grip. You wake up not excited, but ready. You move not rushed, but resolved. You rest not guilty, but complete. This is the way of preserved energy, the way of presence. And once you live this way, you no longer ask how to stop feeling tired, because tiredness can no longer find you. Because what drains you most was never effort. Thus, it was resistance to reality. Erst the quiet war you fought every day. Weakened against what is, yet against what must be done, against who you are becoming. That war consumed more energy than any physical labor ever could. As most exhaustion is invisible, so it is not in the body. It is in the refusal of the mind. We see the moment you stop arguing with reality, and a strength returns very soon. Musashi did not waste energy wishing the battlefield were different. He adapted. Acceptance was not surrender. It was efficiency. You lose power when you demand life match your expectations. You regain power when you meet life as it is, fully awake. Acceptance releases. Refusal tightens. Musashi trained in harsh conditions on purpose. Cold, hunger, loneliness, not to suffer, but to remove fear of discomfort. When discomfort is accepted, shall I stop screaming for attention? And when fear dissolves, energy stabilizes. Fear creates urgency. Urgency creates tension. Tension creates fatigue. Calm creates clarity. Clarity creates precision. Precision preserves energy. This is the invisible chain most people never see. Do you feel tired because you live in anticipation, anticipating problems, judgment, failure? Presence returns you to now, the only place where strength exists. Clean effort is focused, intentional and finite. Dirty effort is scattered, emotional and endless. When you accept effort, it stops feeling heavy. When you resist it, it becomes exhausting. Clean effort builds strength. Dirty effort builds fatigue. Choose clean effort. Do the work once, properly. Say the truth once, clearly. Set the boundary once, firmly. Repeating yourself drains energy. Repeating mistakes drains energy. Decisiveness is a form of rest. Musashi ended battles quickly, not out of aggression, but out of respect for energy. Musashi lived with very little, yet his presence filled rooms. Because he carried no internal clutter. Clutter tires the mind. Simplicity sharpens it. Simplify your promises. Simplify your routines. Simplify your identity. Be one person everywhere. When there is no gap between who you are and how you live, fatigue disappears. Not instantly, not dramatically, but permanently. Your energy no longer spikes and crashes. It stabilizes. Stability is the mark of mastery. And one day you notice something subtle. You no longer count how much energy you have, because you are no longer wasting it. And when energy is no longer wasted, it begins to deepen. Not louder, twice not explosive. Deeper. You stop measuring your days by how busy they were. You begin to feel them by how true they were. Truth has weight. And weight gives gravity. Musashi understood the gravity of presence. He knew that the man who is fully here cannot be easily shaken. Now you start to notice that fewer things disturb you now. Not because you became numb, but because your presence became heavier than the noise. Chaos still exists. Noise still surrounds you. Pressure still arrives. But it no longer enters unchecked. Your center has moved inward, and what is centered cannot be easily pulled. This is what happens when you stop living on the surface of your life. Surface living is exhausting. Always reacting, always adjusting, always performing. Depth living conserves strength. Shall you respond instead of react? You choose instead of comply. Choice is power. Most people are tired because they live on autopilot. That autopilot is inefficient. Presence is manual control. It requires attention. Yes, but it rewards you with stability. Every conscious choice restores energy. Every unconscious action spends it. You feel tired because you have been moving, but not arriving. Arrival is not a destination. It is a state of being. You arrive when your mind stops leaving the moment. From here, action becomes grounded. You stop chasing outcomes. You begin executing principles. Principles are lighter to carry than expectations. Expectations demand energy. Principles generate it. When you say you will act and you do, your nervous system relaxes. Integrity is calming. Broken promises create tension. Kept promises build quiet confidence. Musashi did not seek certainty. He sought readiness. Readiness is lighter than control. You prepare, you train, you sharpen awareness, then you let go. Letting go saves energy because it removes friction. Division drains energy. Wholeness restores it. You do not need to become more, you need to become whole. And wholeness feels like this. Steady breath, clear sight, unrushed movement, unshaken center. From here, fatigue has nowhere to attach, because nothing inside you is pulling against itself anymore. If these words grounded you, if you felt your breath slow and your mind sharpen, don't let this presence fade when the video ends. Subscribe, not for content, but to train your mind to return here again and again. Share this with someone who is tired, not because they are weak, but because they've been living divided. And leave a comment with one word you choose to live by. Not as motivation, but as principle. Stay present, stay disciplined, and walk your path without wasted movement.